ISIS.
Where are you from? You're from West Virginia.
Yeah, Huntington News and
Huntington News. Okay, what's your question?
Okay, I'm here with General Boykin, and we're going to talk about ISIS. My first question is ISIS an imminent threat to America?
There is no question that ISIS is an imminent threat, and the reason is because ISIS is Al-Qaeda. Remember that it was Al-Qaeda in Iraq at one point until Ayman al-Zawahiri forced a separation because he couldn't control ISIS, but they are Al-Qaeda. Yes, they're an imminent threat.
Do you think that they have the capacity or means to plant their flag in the White House like they said they wanted to?
No, that's not. What they can do is they can do us a lot of harm. They can do us a lot of damage. We know that they're recruiting in America. We know that we've had probably roughly 100 Americans that have gone to fight with ISIS. About 40 of those are reportedly back in the United States, having returned from the battlefront. So planting the flag in the White House, that's hollow rhetoric. But they are a threat, and they can do us harm.
Do they have an Air Force or a Navy?
Well, they have no Air Force or Navy per se, but at any given time, you know, they could steal or buy ships to go out and destroy not aircraft carriers, but oil rigs, or challenge our fleet or something like that. So they
so far they haven't done anything like that.
So far they haven't done that.
Yeah. So compared to America, ISIS is a minor military power. In other words, they have not been able to defeat Assad, right?
They have not been able to defeat Assad, and so no, but...
Or the Iraqi government either, right? Just the northern part where the Sunnis are, but they haven't been able to defeat the Iraqi government head on, right?
No, of course not. No, the Iraqi government's still intact.
Right. So they are not a formidable military threat like maybe other countries would be, but really they are an insignificant military power, right?
No.
They are a significant military power.
Have you looked at the statistics of the tens of thousands of people that they have killed? That's not an insignificant threat. Many of them
I mean a power, a military power. They're an insignificant military power. In other words, they can't beat Assad, they can't beat Iraq. Assad and Iraq are minor military powers compared to America or Russia or China or any other big country.
They use terrorism as a tactic.
Right.
And as a terrorist organization, they're very effective in using that as their tactic. They've killed tens of thousands of people. They've beheaded tons of Christians, Yazidis, and Kurds, as well as other Muslims. You can't get me to agree that that's insignificant. I think it is significant.
So these two Americans that they killed, why did they say they killed them?
Well, you probably watched the video of what they said, and it was because America has attacked Muslim lands, that America has been an enemy of Islam, etc.
They're trying to persuade us not to intervene in the Middle East, like we had in Iraq or in Afghanistan or in Libya, etc. Right?
You know what those beheadings and those videos were really about? It was really about poking a finger in the eye of the United States president and using that as a recruiting tool to bring more people into their network. It was about recruiting more than anything else.
Well, actually, don't you think that their tactic was rather stupid? Because instead of the U.S. being less involved, it seems to be more involved now.
I think they miscalculated, yes. I agree. I think they miscalculated the response, and I think they had the attitude that we were so hapless, so feckless, so incapable of responding that we would just take it and complain to the United Nations. I think they've been surprised by the response, which has not been a particularly robust response, but it's more than they expected, I think.
Is there any objective evidence that they have a specific terror attack plan and have taken actions to implement that plan?
I'm out of the intel community now. It's hard to say, but yes, even in open source, it's being reported by our administration that there were some specifics that were collected by the intel community regarding their intentions for a terrorist attack on America. So I will accept that as being the truth from the administration.
So before we go to war, shouldn't there be objective, corroborated public evidence of a specific attack so we can then thwart that attack and attack them and prevent that attack. In other words, isn't that a basic requirement before you go to war, to have objective, corroborated, specific public evidence, so it doesn't happen like it happened in Iraq, where they said that there were weapons of mass destruction and that Saddam had the intention to use them against us, and then we found out that that wasn't the case?
Well, first of all, you are like most Americans. You don't realize we did find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
Really?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I thought that everybody agreed that they.
No, we found weapons of mass destruction. But what we found chemical stockpiles of artillery rounds and other things that had been there for a long time. It's the same thing that Saddam.
But did he have any intention to attack America with these chemical weapons?
I can't answer that. That said, it's the same thing he killed Kurds with. But having said that, you're not talking to a guy that was a great enthusiast for the invasion of Iraq in 2003. So if your intention is to tell me that I'm wrong, don't waste your time, because
I just don't want us to make that same mistake again.
I agree. So what I'm looking at right now is the fact that we know ISIS is a threat. We know that ISIS not only beheaded our 2 journalists, but ISIS is a threat to Christians, a threat to Yazidis, a threat to Kurds, a threat to other Muslims, not only Sunni but Shia.
World peace.
The question that America has to ask is, are we willing to stand up to evil? Are we willing to protect the Christians and the Yazidis and the Kurds? Are we willing to protect other Muslims? Are we willing to stand up to evil, or are we willing to turn our backs like we did during Nazi Germany and let evil prevail? It's been a pleasure being with you.
Well, I want to ask you one quick question.
I'm done.
I have a good question about the Constitution.
Are you looking for me?